that recognizes the beauty of every spiritual philosophy. It aims at supporting people in their quest for a healthy and prosperous life, a life of significance. Revana Quintana and Osvaldo Mora, leaders of the bilingual ministry Unity Community of Light, are here every Sunday morning to bless you with either an inspiring dialogue and or meditation based on the powerful Unity teachings that we are certain will lead you to a space of deep personal transformation. Please be welcome to Encuentro Espiritual English. During Encuentro Espiritual English, we have been providing you with the series Healing is Possible. Now we're going to add an extra, and it is that starting on Monday, November 6th at 8:30 in the morning for 7 weeks, we are going to be offering a bilingual meditation on healing. It's really a meditation focused on affirmations of healing to help you restore your health. So I hope you can make it. It will be through Zoom, and there's more information on our website, unitycoml.org events. We look forward to having you and really expand on this consciousness of healing is possible. Namaste. Hello everyone, and please be welcome to Encuentro Espiritual, the English version. I am Reverend Ana Quintana, and I'm here next to two wonderful human beings. The first one being, who are you?
Osvaldo Mora.
And who are you?
Julie Johnson.
And the three of us are here, and we have been here for the last 4 weeks, and we will continue to be together for the next 5 weeks because we are in a healing journey. This series is called Healing is Possible, and we are discussing the story of my beloved Reverend Mother, Julie Johnson, and her little girl who was diagnosed with a gene-based disease, cystic fibrosis, when she was 5 and was told that she had only 2 years to live. And Julie found the right and perfect help to change her thinking, change her energy, change her outlook of life, change her definition of God, change her definition of herself, to bring about healing in her daughter. And we've been exploring what specifics Julie got involved with in order to bring about this healing. For Leslie lived to be 50, and it's really a story of the power of prayer, of the power of consciousness. Today, we have named this show, Love in Us is What Heals. We already have people approaching us to know more information about Julie, and we would like to let everyone know that all this is written in a book she wrote a couple of years ago called Women Who Take Our Breath Away by Julie Torres Johnson. It's available in Amazon, and you're more than welcome to get the story, and perhaps as you continue to be on this journey, watching us on Sunday mornings and then doing the meditations afterwards, reading the story might really enhance the work and the transformation of consciousness that we hopefully would like for you to get fully engaged in. Julie, why is love so important, an important aspect of our healing journey?
Well, because God is love, and that energy that we call God is an energy of love, and love heals anything and everything. So we need love to be first in our lives if we want to have anything special happen, anything good happen in our lives.
And in your case, like you have shared before, you found yourself in a place where you didn't have a real profound connection with spirit. You did grow up in a church, in church environment, and there was some sort of faith, but it was an anthropomorphic God. You saw yourself being abandoned by the husband, the father of your 3 children. Your daughter is diagnosed with this disease, and you find yourself in a trapped completely. Yes. You attract the right and perfect help in the practitioner, and she immediately tells you that if you cannot get yourself out of there, nothing can work either in your life or in Leslie's lives.
Yes.
What would you say was the biggest factor in helping you shift to space of love?
I would say the biggest factor was that she said that healing was possible for Leslie. And of course, she had been diagnosed with a terrible diagnosis that she would be dead by 7. So she convinced me that healing was possible only if I could lift my consciousness to the healing power of love. If I could lift my consciousness to that, then that would spill over to her and she could be healed. And I was desperate for anything, and I was willing to do anything. And so that was my first realization that love heals, but I discovered that it does.
And so what you're saying is that your desire for your daughter to stay alive was so intense, of
Right.
course, as a mother to a child, that you were willing to work on whatever was needed to be worked on in order to bring that about. And I would like a reaction from you, Osvaldo, because being a spiritual leader like you are, that it's really fascinated by the unity teachings on our 12 powers, being the DNA of our Christ, divine nature. Most of us, when we start on a healing journey, we get emphasized on faith. And I believe that faith is key to allow you at least to start walking towards a different direction. You're not getting any concrete point of reference, but there's something internal that is supporting you as you go through that threshold of moving from one state of consciousness to the other. And last week, when we talked about stepping the unknown, it's really through faith that we're saying, I dare to move myself to another way of thinking or living or contemplating life and God. But now Julie's telling us that the lady, the practitioner, the mentor, did not emphasize that much on faith, but love. We love a reaction from you, being a healer yourself.
I'm just putting together in the first circle
Wheel.
of identity, the wheel of identity in the powers. And if we keep only faith, it is like a blind faith. But of course, in order to get the journey, to be in the journey, as Julie did, it involves a comprehensive faith. You see? So once we are in this path, understanding what's going on, it's like, what is it that I need right now? I need love. And how I know that I'm experiencing this energy is because I am feeling the possibility of a new life. Because that's what love does. Love gives us another opportunity. Love gives us as many chances as we need, as we want, as we ask. And once we get there, we are involved in this vibration of love, knowing that this is my new opportunity that love gave me in my new stage.
You know, that's perfect because it almost feels like you're reading my mind, Oswaldo, because that's exactly what happened to me. You know, before I got into the faith thing, because I wasn't sure I believed this could happen, and she said, you've got to change your whole way of thinking to a thinking of love and change your belief in God as a God of love. And I started doing it, not believing anything, not having any faith that it would really work, but I was desperate. And I thought, I'll do whatever she tells me to do if this is going to work. So I just started being kinder and more loving and more generous and more patient. And I found that after about 6 months of that, I shifted to a place where I really believed this was possible. But I didn't believe it at first. You know, I had to just shift into that. And once I shifted into that faith, then things started to happen.
So what I'm reading here, I'm thinking here that love was like a cleansing agent, because and there's only, like the Course in Miracles says, either love or fear, right? Those energies, and it means that if we're not vibrating in love, it's that there's really an abundance of fear.
Correct.
And how can anything grow in a space of fear? So love brings this energy of like peace and connection. And I like to think of divine love. One of the things that I use myself many times in my prayer work is to really know that I am loved. That divine love, not only it's me, but even as in my humanity, when I don't have access in my limited level of thinking, I can tap into that divine love. There's one affirmation that I love that I think summarizes this essence, and it's like I am loved, all is well.
Right.
I am loved, all is well. I am loved, all is well. And you start shifting. The fear subsides. You want to say something?
Yes, and remember, if I am not in love, I am in fear, and fear makes me vulnerable and resistant.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm resisting, and I'm wasting my divine energy in supporting
Right.
that through resistance.
Right.
Right.
And I'm creating and creating and creating, and of course I'm connecting with all the stuff with my grandmother. That she had she was a powerful woman, and can you imagine all that power putting into resistance? So that's why she was. It was almost impossible for her to defeat all of this, because it was her own power against herself.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You see, so when I let go of the resistance, there just is automatic. Love emerge.
Yeah.
But if I fight, I won't get anything,
Right.
because I'm fighting against myself.
Because you are love and we are love and there's only love. So it's almost you're going against the current, the life force. And what I think and we know Alice did was really point you out to another reality that you were willing to explore and be and have the prayer practice that will continually shift you. It's almost like you are redesigning yourself before anything could be expressed in the physical realm.
Exactly. Multiplying, extending love instead of multiplying fear. I had had a whole lifetime of multiplying fear. So this was a whole new shift for me.
But I think it has a lot of merit that you stuck to it, and the more you did, the more it kept showing you. Because what happens is that when we start shifting internally, things start shifting externally and we gain faith and we go, oh, this is working.
Right.
And then we get more empowered and then we get more results. And even if we don't get immediate results, our inner wisdom sometimes tells us, because we're not that fearful, that it's like hanging there, it's coming, hanging there, surrender, hanging there, all is well, hanging there, we got your back. Because it's all internal and you're in deep communication with spirit, and spirit guides you. Because sometimes we're not meant to get the manifestation right away because there are lessons we're meant to learn.
Right.
Right?
Exactly. And the truth is that as you work the program, you don't even notice you're shifting. No. You start to shift in small shifts. I always thought it was big shifts that would happen to you. But what I learned was that just small shifts that happen that you're not even aware of. And one day you're into a big shift, but it just kind of moves you slowly.
So part of the story that we have not shared is that Leslie has a remission. You're told to move away to another state so that the consciousness of other people will not influence that. And towards the end of the series, we will go deeper there. But then she starts going to school. She does great in school. She's even a runner, a distance runner.
She's on the track team.
On the track team. Imagine having an illness of lungs and being able to be a runner. That really challenges every preconception about what is possible from the medical perspective. And then she goes off to college, and there's a family situation that triggers in her some sort of weaknesses, and she starts developing symptoms again. And what happens?
Well, she didn't even know that she had cystic fibrosis because I never told her that. So when she said, I was sick as a little girl, what was wrong with me? I said, well, you had lung problems, but you got over it. So I never mentioned the disease. So when she was in college, she got a bad cold, and they sent her to the infirmary. And I didn't know that, but now whenever a college student goes to the infirmary, they always check them for cystic fibrosis because there are people with it that don't know they have it. And so they checked her for that, and they discovered she had it. And they checked her a second time because she looked so good. She didn't have any of the symptoms. Usually they have a big chest, and they have all kinds of physical symptoms that you can see, but she didn't have any of that. So they checked her twice, and then they called me. And I was becoming a minister. I was in seminary. So I got a call from the doctor. She asked me if I would fly to another part of California and meet her, and I did. And she was very, she was kind of angry with me, because I had never told Leslie that she had cystic fibrosis, and Leslie was 20 now. And she said, well, then we have to go in there together, her and I, and tell her about her disease. And I said to the doctor, well, look at how beautiful she looks. She doesn't have any symptoms. She's perfectly healthy. She's never had pneumonia. And why do we have to tell her? She said, well, she's 21. She needs to know. So we went into her room and told her that she had cystic fibrosis. And Leslie looked at me and she said, what is that? And the doctor said, this is a disease, and gave her all kinds of information.
And she started manifesting the symptoms.
And within, I would say, a year, she started manifesting some of the symptoms of the disease that she had never manifested before, because, as the doctor said, she needs to know about her disease.
And you see the correlation of shifting your consciousness from being a healthy person into a sick person impacted her body conditions. But if I recall the story, you started again now, 20 years later, doing affirmative prayer work again, and she got better, right?
And she would say, I may have cystic fibrosis, but cystic fibrosis does not have me. And so she had a wonderful 20 years, graduated from college, married a healthy young man, was very happy, had a great business, and raised $500,000 for the cystic fibrosis cure that didn't come in time for her. But she, even though she started manifesting a few symptoms, she still lived a very normal and wonderful life.
And then afterwards, she did have some periods in which she would be more vulnerable, but each time she would go into that, she would get the right medical help and the right prayer help.
Exactly.
We kept her healthy. But then fast forward, she's already in her 40s, and this is like 2008. I knew you. We had met in 98. You had gone back to California, and I remember you calling me and saying, Leslie, it's in a coma. I need you and the people in the island that I know are so heart-centered to pray for Leslie. And she came back from the coma not only once, but twice. Can you share some of that?
Yeah,
Part of the story?
What happened was that the breathing machine destroys lung tissue. So it's very rare to put a person with cystic fibrosis on a breathing machine. But they had to put her on one because she went into a coma. So they put her on this breathing machine, and they was going to keep her on there for 7 days. And after 3 days, she was doing so well, they took her off the breathing machine, and she just recovered completely and went home and lived a normal life. She died at 50, and she didn't really get sick until she was 48. I mean, really sick, where she didn't bounce back. But she lived another 2 wonderful years with her husband and her family, and was perfectly fine. And then one day, they went into... when she got sick, when she'd get sick, sometimes they'd give her a pulp. They would put a little needle in her chest.
The port.
They'd put a port in there for her. And so we went, she got sick, and they put the port in, and we went back to the hospital to remove the port. That's all we were going there for, which is a simple little thing. And I was in her room, and she said, Mom, I'll be back in 15 minutes. I'm just going to go have this port removed. And she went, when they removed the port, she went again into another coma. And so they had her in the hospital for another week, another 3 or 4 days, and she bounced back perfectly fine.
But she, if I recall the story, she bounced back because I remember you telling me that immediately you went in and said, we need to keep her in a place where it's fear-free. We're going to create like a sphere of love, and then that you would go in the morning until night and just place affirmative affirmations in the headphones, and that you didn't allow other members of the family, only her husband, because you knew that if that space would be contaminated with fear,
Right.
she will not get out of that space.
Exactly.
Am I recalling
yes.
it right?
I didn't even allow her husband or her brother or her brothers to be there, because they all loved her so much, and they would be fearful. Because they put her in a coma, and they said she would be in that for a week. Well, after we put those headsets on her, and her husband and I arrived every day at 7 and stayed till 7 at night, and all that time I was just reading affirmations or praying for her, or just knowing that she was fine. In 3 days, she was fine, and they took the tubes out, and she went home and was perfectly normal. The doctors couldn't believe that she had that kind of a comeback.
Doesn't love heal?
But there was only love in that room. There was
Only
no
love.
fear in that room.
And how fascinating that you had the courage to take a stand and say, I don't need to be a people pleaser.
Right.
I know how this works, and I need to make sure that the consciousness that stays in this room it's love-filled.
Absolutely. And I was criticized greatly by the family, because imagine saying the family can't come and see her. But it worked incredibly. And then I had somebody come in at 7 when we left to sit by her bed and read affirmations to. She was in a coma, but they still sat there and read affirmations to her until 10 o'clock at night, every day.
Would like to get your reaction to this. Isn't this like mind-blowing?
I'm just seeing Julie doing all of this, and it's exactly what I should do, because this is the space where I need to, because actually that's what I do in my house. And this is, my house is fear free, is obligation free. It's not obligation, it's responsibilities that we have, and we share all of those. So in my house there is no impositions, because you have to do what you feel to do.
Right.
Because we don't want resistance in
Right.
there. You see, and of course, if something like this will happen, no good. it's like I should do the same thing. Just love, and if you are allowed to express love, welcome. If you're coming here to cry, bring in fear,
Or criticize, or
criticize, or whatever, this is not the moment.
Exactly.
You see, it's with all of my love, I cannot let you in.
Exactly.
And that's what it's more or less like Buddha says, that everything that people gives me is a gift that I can accept or reject. So if what I'm bringing is not good, is not part of this, I won't accept it. And that's very plausible. I
Well,
really admire you for that.
in that hospital in California, no woman had ever survived being put on a breathing machine twice. So she was the only woman that had ever survived that, being, because it destroys lung tissue. So nobody with cystic fibrosis had ever been on a breathing machine twice.
and you know what I'm receiving right now, that in truth, love never fails. We just fail to love
Exactly.
and to be in that vibration. And your story clearly has proven
Yes.
that love wins, that love never fails. And it's a journey of love, really.
Absolutely. And even her husband would keep in touch with all the friends and the family, loving them, thanking them for letting us have this time.
Yeah.
And keeping in touch and letting them know how Leslie was doing. So he was filled with love too.
Yeah. And that's why one of your favorite affirmations from the co-founder of Unity, it says that nothing is resistant
To the healing power.
to the healing power of love. Why don't we just take a moment to affirm that together? Hopefully you guys are there connecting at a deeper level with this truth and with this power of love. And whatever condition or health challenge you might be going through, it's a call for love. And we're becoming aware that we can take control of that by bringing and increasing the volume of love. For nothing is resistant to the healing power of love. We highly encourage you to take this affirmation all week and see if nothing is resistant to the healing power of love, where am I resisting? And work on that resistance. And next week, tune in and do all this continuation of affirmative work and meditation and see where it will take you. Thank you, Osvaldo. Thank you, Julie.
Thank you, Reverend Julie.
We'll see you next week with a meditation, and the upcoming week we're going to be talking about the principle of act as if. With that, thank you very much and have a wonderful, wonderful week. Namaste.
Namaste.
COML, Unity Comunidad de Luz, Community of Light, it's a ministry of love, big commitment to help everyone who's ready explore principles of truth that can really bring healing, prosperity, and all the good that God always has in store for each one of us. If you feel truly in your heart that we are serving you and that you feel that you are expanding in every way and would love to give back and make sure that others are benefited just as well, we highly encourage you to donate. Do a love offering based on the love, appreciation, gratitude, and joy that you are receiving from the source to transform your life. Visit us at unitycoml.org and do what is yours to do from that place that knows that there's abundance for all.
As always say, asking is giving, and that's how we support our ministry, your needs, our help, and everything goes together.
Divine love, through you, through us, blesses and multiplies all that we are, all that we have, all that we give, and all that we receive. And so it is.
So it is.
Amen. During Encuentro Espiritual English, we have been providing you with the series Healing is Possible. Now we're going to add an extra, and it is that starting on Monday, November 6th at 8:30 in the morning for 7 weeks, we are going to be offering a bilingual meditation on healing. It's really a meditation focused on affirmations of healing to help you restore your health. So I hope you can make it. It will be through Zoom, and there's more information on our website, unitycoml.org, events. We look forward to having you and really expand on this consciousness of healing is possible. Namaste.